What is up, you guys? Today, I got the chance to see Dracula. Not today, but a few weeks ago, actually. I got to see this movie, and I never got to make a video on it because I've been actually extremely busy. But Dracula released this weekend. It released on Friday, February 6th. And yeah, this trailer I feel like I've been seeing a lot lately within every movie I go to. They're advertising the heck out of this film. But I got the early screener to see this. And, I have a few thoughts on it, a few positives and a few negatives, so let's just get into it. This is going to be non-spoilers, but, technically we've seen this story so many times, but it's going to be non-spoilers, so don't worry. So when it comes to Dracula, this movie, the trailer seemed very interesting. It seemed like it was going to be a really cool adaptation of Dracula. This movie was really showing Christopher Waltz off a lot within the trailer. And there was a few different shots within the trailer that looked really appetizing to watch. But I don't know. Like I'm a little mixed when it comes to this movie because I was really excited to see it, and it was my first ever early screener, so I was really excited to watch this film. But I unfortunately did have a few dislikes and a few critiques, I guess, with the movie. I just feel that this movie we've seen so many times. It feels like a generic Dracula film. The way Dracula is in this movie, the way he's like he looks in this film, it's very similar to Bram Stoker's Dracula, the 1990s movie, and there's no problem with that. It's just it's very similar to that, and honestly, the plot is very similar to most Dracula films. Like it's extremely similar to Nosferatu, which we just got in 2024. And watching Bram Stoker's Dracula, because I watched a few Dracula movies leading up to this, Bram Stoker's Dracula just is such a beautiful movie. It's so elegant. And compared to this movie just looks so unappetizing compared to that film, and even compared to Nosferatu. Because I feel like Nosferatu and Bram Stoker's Dracula have uniqueness to them, and they have certain qualities that feel like they're their own film, even though they are very similar when it comes to the plot. Like each Dracula movie, we have that very similar plot device where it's a vampire going after one girl that's like this reincarnated love interest that he has, or even just person that he loves who is a person that is married to someone else or about to be married, and there's a realtor. That person is a realtor who Dracula wants to buy money. That's literally the most plot to most Dracula adaptations. And we get that within this, and I feel like instead of having any uniqueness to it, any type of flavor, it just tries to follow the Dracula storyline beat for beat. And that's my problem when it comes to this movie. Christopher Waltz, they were really advertising him, and I really like Christopher Waltz, especially in Quentin Tarantino's movies like Django Unchained or Inglourious Basterds. I feel like he doesn't do anything in this movie. This is probably in my opinion, his worst performance that he's done. It just feels like he's just here just to be there. In my opinion, it felt the same way in Frankenstein. It just feels very similar, like extremely same character. And I feel like they were trying to make this character Van Helsing of the Dracula movie. Like they were just basically copy and paste. It's Van Helsing, I guess. It's really boring. His character's really useless for the film. But I do gotta admit, one acting performance that I thought was really good is the person who plays Dracula. Their name is slipping my brain right now. Something Jones. I think it's Daniel Jones. Something. I could be completely wrong, but he was actually really interesting to watch as Dracula. Probably the best part of the film is seeing Dracula and whenever he's on screen, he's really good in it. Now, I wouldn't say it's amazing or anything, but it's actually pretty good. And there is some uniqueness to, I guess, the Dracula character, like when it comes to his personality. In Bram Stoker's Dracula, we get like this lonely Dracula, this Dracula that feels so alone. And in Nosferatu, we have one that's just very like lustful, I guess, if you want to say. Just thirsty. We'll say that in Nosferatu. But in this one, he's very angry. Like, and I kind of like that. He's a very angry, evil presence. And I really enjoy that. Like, especially in the beginning sequence. The beginning sequence for this film is really interesting to watch, and I think is really cool. Seeing Dracula be Dracula, like Vlad, whatever his name was, right? Was really interesting to see. Like when he was like this army man, Again, very similar to Bram Stoker's Dracula, but it's different because of the Dracula character. He wants to be with his wife or girlfriend, whatever it is, and instead he has to go fight in this war and then comes back. He just gets so angry, and that anger just keeps bundling in him. And it reminded me of Anakin Skywalker with Darth Vader, right? So I thought that was really cool. And whenever we get Dracula within the film later on, he is such like a fun, whimsical character who just has random outspurts of anger. And I thought that was really cool to watch. But then there was other things within this that I just didn't like. I didn't really care for any other character within this movie. Maybe there was one character, like this random crazy lady who was also a vampire who was very I guess hypnotized. She was also really cool. She was a good performance. No one was bad. It was just no one was really recognizable, I guess. Another nitpick that I really had with the problem with this movie is there was problems when it came to like the film editing for me. Like there would be scenes that were so cool. Like there were action scenes, especially in the beginning. Like they were so interesting and cool. But then we would get like scenes where it was filmed like The Office or filmed like a documentary. And I didn't really care for that. Like there were sequences where they would be in a field and like you would see Dracula holding someone and it would look like it was filmed in someone's backyard and with no budget, and they put the budget in other scenes where I just felt like it had no flavor. It was literally flavorless, right? Like it felt like it tasted like chicken that a pair of white people would give you, and they would be like, "Oh, it has so much seasoning on it. It's so good and so delicious," but literally it would just be ketchup and plain chicken, and they would call that a good appetizing meal. Now there were sequences in this that were flavorful, plenty of salt and pepper and other seasonings. Am I proving that I'm white here by saying just salt and pepper? I can't think of any other seasoning right now. But there were plenty of sequences that were actually filmed with sauce, right? Like there was a few shots that were in here that were really cool to watch, but then for the majority of it, I was just like kind of bored. This movie I think is a little over an hour and a half. It just sometimes feels repetitive. It feels a little dull and boring, but it's not because it's a bad movie. I feel like if this movie maybe came out before Nosferatu or came out like before we got so many vampire movies like Renfield, like there's so many vampire movies anymore, where this one just feels like it has nothing unique to add to the vampire genre. And even if there was no other vampire movies, I probably would still feel the same way. Maybe I would feel a little bit better about it because I was trying to be as unbiased as possible. But it just was filmed weird. Like I didn't really like the cinematography. Didn't really care for a few of the visuals, and like especially there's like these little gargoyles in this film, which are really cool at first. I was like, this is interesting. And yeah, that is something unique for this film. They have like Dracula's assistants are gargoyles, right? But then little while into it, you're like, all right, these gargoyles are a little annoying, and they feel like the minions sing "Banana" 50,000 times. Like, and it was just weird. Like I didn't understand that. For me, this movie just feels like the most movie out of any movie. So here are my overall thoughts on the film, and I'm going with an overall score of a 55 out of 100. It's the lowest possible 6 out of 10 because I don't think this movie's horrendous. I don't think this movie's great. I just think it's probably the most like, this is the definition of a mid movie. It's a movie that came out, and a movie that's probably going to be forgotten about within a week for me. I don't know. I'm only reviewing this movie now because it's finally out and I got the chance to see it a while ago. Maybe if I see it in theaters, like it more. Who knows? But with all that being said, that's my review for Dracula 2026. So if you guys like this video, make sure you like it. If you really like it, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to see future videos like this, make sure you ring the bell in the description down below. With all that being said, moving it out. Peace.